Assalamualaikum and a very pleasant morning to everyone. Thank you, moderator. Here I would like to share my research topics which are entitled Knowledge on Threatened Species among Penan and Berawan Community in Gunung Mulu National Park, Sarawak, Malaysia. It is part of my doctoral research project. Knowledge on species is critical for understanding biodiversity and the issues that surround it, where it comprehends the interactions between species and their environment. Familiarizing oneself with species can help build a sense of connection to the natural environment. The species can instill a sense of place and belonging in human, which indicates that it contributes to the authenticity of places and can help people develop a sense of attachment to their surroundings. Awareness on biodiversity conservation has interdependent relationship to community well-being. Traditionally, Penan and Berawan communities are relying on their customary access rights to hunt animals and collect forest products in Mulu. A lack of knowledge about the species could result in the extinction in the area if the endangered category were hunted. Thus, the knowledge of those species that must be conserved in Mulu is a crucial aspect to be addressed. However, it is still not known whether these local communities are aware of the conservation status of species. This research aims to investigate the knowledge level of indigenous communities of Penan and Berawan on threatened species that require attention in Mulu. Okay, this research area map where the location extends from the park headquarters to the Long Terawan. The data collection was conducted from 30 March till 17 April this year. This study also has received official permission to conduct research from SFC, which is complying to the related regulations, and it also has received the approval of the University Ethics Committee for research involving humans for its compliance with the Declaration of Helsinki and International Conference of Harmonization and Local Regulation and Standard in Ethical Review. Okay, park headquarters basically consists of mixed communities, mainly Penan and Berawan, because they are park staffs. And the Kampung Sungai Melinau, most of them are Berawan community who are involved in tourism industry as accommodation and transportation operator. The second site is Batu Bungan, where it's home to Penan, and the location is accessible by road from park and airport. And there is a Batu Bungan handicraft market there, which is the main attraction for tourists to buy their handicrafts and other products. And it was found that many local community haven't been at home since the pandemic, and they choose to stay in the forest for a safer survival because they are quite paranoid to the outsiders, and they are worried of the infection of the COVID-19 virus. This is a Long Iman, also a Penan settlement. It takes about 30 minutes from park headquarters by boat, and it's similar to Batu Bungan, where the handicrafts are main tourism product here. Okay, the last site is Long Terawan, where it is home to Berawan community in Sarawak. The area is quite distant, which takes about 1 hour from the park by river transportation. Based on the head of ethnics, there is only 15 doors are inhabited. Okay, basically most of them are paddy farmers and fishermen. However, younger generation work in the park and live there. Okay. A validated pictorial questionnaire was distributed to 67 indigenous communities of Penan and Berawan through a face-to-face approach purposively. Okay, the respondents are aged more than 18 years old and have grown in the community. Okay, the snowball sampling was conducted where a small number of individuals who have the characteristic in which we are interested in the study, which is indigenous community above 18 years old and live there. Okay, these people are then used as informants to identify or put the researchers in touch with others who qualify for inclusion, and this in turn identify others. Okay. This is the Berawan. Okay, this is the local communities who are involved in this study. Okay. It shows that the Enumerator training was conducted, which involves 2 individuals from UPM. They are UPM students. Okay. Respondent information sheet, which contains the brief information and benefits of the research statement for voluntary participation, possible risk of participation, confidentiality, anonymity, and relevant components to be assessed were disseminated. The informed consent was obtained from the respondent in this study under the same form. Okay. Respondents were given the pictorial questionnaire and asked to identify which are the most native animals that need to be conserved. The task consisted of 35 animals and 9 plant species photos with its common name and also scientific name, which is native to Mulu. The respondents were allowed to select any species to be saved in Mulu, regards to their own knowledge in order to avoid bias. The scores then were calculated based on the percentage of the species they selected correctly according to the IUCN. Okay. In addition, the demographic background also was included in this section. Okay, this is the plant part. Okay. For the score calculation, there is a mistake in extended abstract. However, this is the amended version. Okay. The number of correct identifications will indicate the threatened species knowledge levels by calculating the identification score per individual. There are 3 categories identified as threatened species with global extinction, namely critically endangered, and vulnerable. Thus, the critically endangered is the most threatened species that need to be conserved and should be given more attention in Mulu. Okay. All respondents for sure are Penan and Berawan community. Most of them are male and married and aged 31 till 39 years old and at least received secondary school and has income less than 2,500 and self-employed. Most of them are self-employed and engaged in agriculture, fisheries, and tourism due to the biodiversity resources benefits in Mulu. Okay, most respondents, about 98.1%, and its overall mean score also 26.46%, which portray that they have poor knowledge on threatened species, even though they live close to UNESCO World Heritage Site Mulu. Knowledge about species among lay people is much lower than professional as found in several studies. Okay. It is noted that there is no critically endangered in 5 topmost species that need to be conserved in Mulu. Most respondents choose, for the plant part, most respondents choose pitcher plants, Nepenthes muluensis and Lowi, as the most plant species that need to be conserved. However, this species is less significant than other species due to its non-endangered status according to the IUCN Red List category. However, Nepenthes muluensis is still endemic to Borneo Island and can't be found anywhere else, which might be a reason why the respondent perceive it as one of the most plants that need to be conserved. Similar to Bucerus rhinoceros, most respondents choose this species as the most important animal to be conserved compared to others in Mulu. This might be because the species has become iconic to Sarawak and perceived that the number of species is declining due to several threats such as poaching and the destruction of natural habitats. Okay, in addition, they are aware that Bucerus rhinoceros is listed as totally protected animal in Sarawak and enacted under the Wildlife Protection Ordinance 1998. Respondents would be considered good knowledge if all 5 topmost species selected are from the threatened category. However, there is only 3 chosen endangered species which rank top 3 in this study, while there is no critically endangered here. Other species that should be conserved. It is noted that the respondents stated that several species are not in pictorial questionnaire, which is crucial to be conserved, including wild boar, tualang tree, white-breasted water hens, okay, and common hill myna. Based on the IUCN Red List category, these species are identified as not very significant to be emphasized in the context of conservation due to its category of least concern. Based on this study, some respondents also mentioned that crowing tree also need to be conserved in Mulu. However, they didn't specify any particular species for the crowing tree, which still indicates that they know its conservation value. Crowing tree consists of several species that have different conservation status in Malaysia. However, in Mulu, the native crowing species is Vatica mengai or resak lidi, which has critically endangered status according to the IUCN, while endangered according to the Sarawak Plant Red List. Some still hunt animals, including monkeys, squirrels, and even hornbill, using sumpit that contain rubber poison. These communities have a poor knowledge of threatened species, which is the aspect that need to be concerned by relevant stakeholders towards improving the species literacy among the Penan and Berawan, particularly on IUCN Red List. In addition, it also can improve communication and education strategies about native biodiversity that are consistent with prior knowledge. And it is crucial to engage public towards the biodiversity conservation, where the awareness of biodiversity is a good first step. Based on the data collection, it was found that Mulu can be inspired towards IUCN Green List of conserved or protected areas due to some relevant criteria. Okay, that's all. Thank you.